Oh man, don't you just love saying the thing to start World War III on Twitter with Team Pixel? Well, in this case, I really don't have any chill bones, so allow me to insert a Cobra Kai meme to summarize how I feel right now.
I'm a fire, Danny boy. And I am gasoline.
Alrighty, the first story, the main story of the day, the iPhone 14 Plus. Now guys, yes. I caved. I got the iPhone 14 Pro Max. Don't ask me why I did it, but I did it. But with that said, the iPhone 14 and 14 Plus, on the other hand, are not looking that well. And it is actually worse than we thought. So, according to Ming-Chi Kuo, it seemed that the new iPhone 14 and 14 Plus pre-orders have been, for lack of better terms, worse than expected. And it seems that if this is going to head down this direction, the way that it's being positioned, this might just be the worst product strategy fail since the iPhone XS, the XS Max, the iPhone, no, not the XR, but mostly this will be the worst product strategy since the iPhone XS and XS Max. According to the reports, it says here that yes, the iPhone 14 and 14 Plus have had bad pre-order results, indicating that Apple has positioned these models to fail. Now, that's a very heavy claim. So who's saying this claim? Well, none other than Mr. Reliable himself, Mr. Ming-Chi Kuo. Kuo says that while the iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max pre-orders have been good, and that the 14 Pro Max has been the strongest one, actually outbeating the 13 Pro Max pre-orders from last year, the iPhone 14 and 14 Plus, on the other hand, are not that good. According to reports, it seems that the 14 is around the same as the iPhone 13, but the 14 Plus, the one model that Apple thought was going to be the one that gets them over the hump because the 13 mini just wasn't working, well, it looks like that's not going to be the case because it sees that the pre-orders are worse than the iPhone 13 minis and that they are also just as worse as the iPhone SE and 13 mini combined. Now, it is worth noting that Apple did cut orders by a third for the iPhone SE and 13 mini in the first half of 2022. However, though, in this specific case, because we were covering reports and now we're seeing the reports that Apple was supposedly going all in on the 14 Plus with display manufacturers, with like segregating a margin of the supply chain, focusing on the 14 Plus, this is bad. This is bad. Now, before you start getting mad, before you start hitting me in the comment section, listen carefully to what I'm about to say. First of all, yes, this is bad. Did I say that before? Yes, it's bad. Now, here's a way Apple can get out of this situation. First of all, they can do exactly what Kuo said. They can cut orders by half, so that way they can reduce the cost of manufacturing the Plus models and then shifting their attention over to the Pro Max. That's number one. Number two, if they really want to get users invested in a phone like the iPhone 14 Plus, you need to do more. Because listen, I'll be honest with you guys, taking a look at the trade-in values from carriers and others, there are pretty good trade-in deals, but it's not enough to make somebody go, I think I'll trade that in. Now, I did the trade-in through Apple with my 12 Pro Max, and I got about $530, plus I also had a little extra money on the side, so I got the phone for around $675. So for me, that's something I'm more comfortable paying for the Pro Max coming from a 2-year-old phone. If somebody was to be 4 or 5 years old and you want them to get the Plus, then the best thing I would do is double the trade-in value to get more people to get those select models if they have an iPhone XR, an iPhone 11, maybe even a 10, a XS, whatever the case may be. But I think the biggest reason why this model is failing is the biggest elephant in the room. It is exactly or almost similar to the iPhone 13. Now granted, the 14 Plus is a bigger phone. It does give you a bigger experience, and for the most part, it does have better camera, better battery, and also a slightly tweaked A15. at the end of the day, guys, there's just no way around it. This phone is way too similar to the 13. It doesn't feel like an upgrade for most people. If anything, in my opinion, for this model, I don't know why, it just reminds me of an S upgrade. It doesn't remind me of a flagship upgrade. That's why I was more happy when Apple did the iPhone 10 to the 10s, because the iPhone 10 to the 10s, it wasn't really anything revolutionary. They just focused on the speed and the performance. And then when they had the Max, that was kind of when they also brought that in. So to me, I feel like Apple positioned this pretty badly, and it's going to hit them. So will we see a press release from Tim Cook saying he owns the responsibility? We'll have to wait and see, but right now we will keep up to date on this. But all I know is that if you pre-ordered your iPhone 14 Pro and Pro Max, you're good to go. And last story to final story, the OnePlus 11 Pro. We have our first image renders, and for the most part, it looks like your average Oppo and Vivo phone. However, this time around, it will be opting a more circular design for the camera housing, and the display is looking to be a lot more brighter and elegant based on these reports. And also lastly, based on reports previously talked about, it seems that OnePlus is heading in a more premium route. It seems that they're trying to go more in the premium direction because they need to try to pick up market share. They really want to try to get this phone out. But I'm here to tell you guys, after the lackluster reception of the OnePlus 10T, the 10, the 9, and the 8, after seeing all these models, I don't know what else to say at this point. I don't know what else I can physically say or physically bring to the table in terms of what can they do to get themselves into that territory. OnePlus has literally tried everything. They have done everything humanly possible that I can think of that they have tried to get their phones into the hands of consumers. They have done double trade-in values. They have partnered with T-Mobile. They are now trying to figure out more partnerships with other carriers. They are doing almost everything they can, and in this case, I don't know what else is left for them to do other than either throw in the towel or somehow figure out a way to make their flagships cheaper, because unless they get a good home run like the OnePlus 7 Pro, OnePlus is pretty much nowhere. I'm sorry to say that. And I have nothing but respect for OnePlus because of what they brought to the table and also what they've done in the past. But you can't keep holding on to the past. And I think it's safe to say that while the OnePlus 10T was a good device, and even though there were some corners cut that were very noticeable to keep the price down, I think at the end of the day, there may not be no way of coming back. So we'll have to wait and see what OnePlus does, but I don't know what else to say. I mean, the question I have to ask you guys is, do you see OnePlus exiting the American market next year? What's your thoughts? Let me hear your thoughts down below. And that's it for today's episode of Technoid. Now guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, hit the like button. If you disliked the video, you can hit the dislike button. That helps circulate my videos as well. As always, everyone, thank you so much for watching. I will see you all in the next episode. Have a great rest of your day, guys. Take care, stay safe, have a good day, and peace.